In this poem, John Milton invokes 7 Muse, sacred Muse, to give him success in the accomplishment of his task. The second characteristic of a pastoral poem is that this poem makes complaints to guardians, nymphs. The poet says the nymphs that his friend died and the nymphs could not save his friend. He asked them what they were doing at the time of his death. In Lycidas also, we find that the poet asks nymphs, the poet asks gods and goddesses of waves, waters, rivers, why they couldn't save his friend from dying. But the poet realizes that nobody could save his friend, as the mother of a great poet or Orpheus could not save her son who died before her nose. So nobody could save his friend Lycidas or Edward King. Further he says that the ship he was traveling in was made in eclipse, so nobody could save his friend from dying. Again, the third important characteristics of such a poem is that nature participates, nature also laments with the poet. In this poem also we find that hills, valleys, rivers, flowers also bemoan the death of Edward King along with the poet. And he invokes flora and fauna in the beginning of the poem when he writes, 8 over 8 once more, oh ye laurel, and once more, ye myrtles brown, withering never share, I come to pluck your berries harsh and crude, and with forced fingers rude, shatter your lips before the mellowing ear. In such a poem, the poet gives a list of flowers. We find a list of flowers here. Other characteristics of a pastoral poem is that the poet begins this poem with a complaint about the dead friend to the nymphs. He says that they could not save his friend, dear friend. And last characteristic of such a poem is that the poet closes his poem, finishes his poem with the consolation that his friend is not dead. He has communion with nature, he has unity with nature, he is still revolving, moving around the earth. And we have this theme in Lycidas also. The poet describes and says that weep no more, woeful shepherds, weep no more, for Lycidas your sorrow is not dead. Then he says, at last the rose twittered his mental blue, tomorrow to fresh woods and pastures new. And the poet consoles himself in the end, saying that his friend Edward King is not dead, The shepherd should not bemoan, lament his death. His friend is already amidst nature. He is rotating with nature. This poem has much comparison with with Shelley's Adonis. In this poem, Shelley laments his great friend John Keats. He names his friend Adonis in this poem. This poem also has comparison with Arnold's Tiresias, which is about the death of A.H.H. Arthur Henry Hallam. In this poem, Arnold laments the death of his friend Arthur Henry Hallam. The third poem with which this poem may be compared is Robert Frost's O Captain, My Captain, which he wrote on the death of Abraham Lincoln, the President of India, the President of USA, the President of America. These are the famous elegies with which Lycidas can be compared with. Thanks for